everyone, and welcome to ZankCast, where we interview members of the Beyblade community. This time we have a legendary guest, the creator of the Pandoras, Pandemonium. We have the voice actor of Pax, Darrel J. Delfin.
Hi everyone, how are you?
Good.
And I'm happy to be here with Zankye, a legend in his own right.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what way to still look. That was a long day. Alrighty, well, just give like a little bit of an introduction, if the viewers kind of wondering a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh, my introduction. Well, my name is Darrel J. Delfin, everyone. You might know me as the voice of Pax ForScythe in Beyblade X QuadStrike, and the creator of the Pandoras, all the Pandoras, and they sit at my desk and I like taking them apart. It's while I do things. Anyway, I digress.
Right.
But you might have heard me in things like Sword Art Online, Kill la Kill, Mob Psycho 100, Dragon Ball Super, if you watch the Southeast Asia version. Most notably, Fandom Pirate Princess as Kaede, Kazuma Arashaba as Scar the Praetor, and a whole bunch of other shows. Genshin Impact's Albedo in specifically Progenitor animation series, and Pax ForScythe. Yeah, that's all there is really to me.
Alrighty, well, it's time for another icebreaker. Just kind of, what got you into kind of the voice acting industry?
It was an accident for me. So my whole life, I have been, my parents basically said that, acting is not stable. So for anyone that follows me on social media knows that I am a huge Power Rangers fan. I am a huge Tokusatsu fan. And so when I was growing up, I didn't have a whole lot of friends to play with. So when I was playing Power Rangers, I was not just one Ranger, I was every single one, and the Monster and the Megazord. And you can imagine one single person throwing themselves in their front yard. It looks weird, but that was where I kind of learned that I wanted to be an actor, but I didn't know exactly how to go about it because I was living in Connecticut at the time. Around the time I got to LA for college, I went to school for art, for animation, and I didn't even know if that was something I wanted to do. That was kind of the happy medium to make my parents happy. And halfway through, I just kind of like, well, this isn't for me. And my best friend basically was like, hey, let's go to Anime Expo. They have these things called open auditions for Bang Zoom. Bang Zoom is where we record Beyblade, so, full circle. We basically what they did is they hand you a script and you stand on stage and you yell all these lines. And it's meant for fun, mind you. But I did that. I took a class on my 21st birthday that year. I think it was like Anime Expo 2012. And steamrolled from there, and now I'm doing this. So it's funny. So when I got pulled aside during these open auditions, Tony Oliver was the one who pulled me aside, and he doesn't remember this. I've asked him about this, and was like, "Hey, you're really good at this. Have you ever done this before? I feel like you have some potential here." Something along those lines. And I went, "No, what? I don't know what you're talking about." And so it's very poetic, I guess, that one of my first big-ish things, I don't know if I should call it first big. Anyway, with Beyblade was with Tony Oliver as my director. And so by the time we finished production, I was like, by the way, Tony, thank you. All those years ago, that one push that you gave me to take your class and everything, it's just, I find it very poetic that I'm here. And he's like, well, good job. I was like, oh, come on, Tony. You don't have anything else to say. But yeah, that's my journey into voice acting.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice butterfly effect to kind of see how it kind of like your road got to now actually I do like a big character in Beyblade to get to here. I was gonna ask this because I was kind of wondering, What's
Okay.
kind of like your experience with Beyblade before? Was it like Gen 1, Gen 2, or just kind of
Gen
heard of it?
1.
Oh, okay.
Gen 1. I'm very vocal about this. I've loved Beyblade all my life. And even in my recording sessions for Beyblade, every single session I wore an OG. I'll send you a picture so you can use it if you want,
Right.
Zankye.
also edit
But just the original Beyblade logo. I love Dragoon, Drigger, Drasil, Dronzer, all of them.
Right.
Gaia Dragoon, you know. And I remember when I was doing Walla, which is the additional voices and background voices for Beyblade Burst Turbo and for Beyblade Burst Rise. I'm here like everyone else in the room, mind you. They're like, oh gosh, everyone's screaming at these tops. And I'm here like, guys, you don't understand. This is serious business. Maybe you don't get it, but I get it. This is serious business. So I don't know. I don't want to like say I am the biggest Beyblade voice actor fan, but I don't know. I have yet to have anyone prove me wrong.
You gotta get immersed, eh?
Yeah, no, I've loved Beyblade my whole life. I kind of fell off a bit with the metal generation. I collected like at least Jenga's bays, but beyond that, I didn't really like immerse myself into the world. I know generally what happens because spoilers, and I've watched episodes here and there, but I kind of fell off around the metal generation.
Right. Well, it's good then, because then you came to Burst like right at the end.
I came back into Burst, yeah.
Yeah, it's full circle then, huh?
Oh man, it's great. It's my only big qualm with Burst is that I make this joke a lot, where it's like, you know, if you want a shonen anime, you know, you want the Dragon Ball Z of anime. That is the original Beyblade. That's the metal generation. If you want the sports anime of Beyblade, the Haikyuu, the Prince of Tennis, that is the Burst generation. And now I guess Beyblade X. Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, I wish Pandemonium could just destroy a mountain if I threw it at it. But you know, what can I do?
Fancy black lights on it, and then after it glows.
Yes. All the elemental power.
Yeah, I was gonna say, by the way, I think I did a little bit of trolling because I did acquire Pandemonium long before the debut of it, and long before they even officially revealed.
Destroyed Pandemonium so much. Gosh, everyone, especially you, acquired Pandemonium before I did. So that was at the time. So I guess we might be jumping questions or whatever you have, but at the time, when you were posting about Pandemonium, I knew that I was getting a bay. I just didn't know what it was yet. And so I was like, okay, so here's Pandora, here's all the Pandoras. The logical explanation might be this Pandemonium? What is this? And so I started looking it up, and some of your videos came up, and I went, huh, oh, is this out? I don't think this is out. So why does Zankye have it?
Yeah, we do a little bit of trolling. We do a little bit of trolling back at that time. I got a sniper on my head if I do those reviews.
It's okay, lips are sealed.
Right. No, but back on topic. No, I was going to say, because Pax Foresight is a little bit interesting of a role that you have, because for a lot of characters in Burst, you have like a Japanese reference for this character. But since Pax is only really like an English reference, right? There's not like this aired in Japan, a year later, here's the dub.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have to do your own creative interpretation and type of stuff. So kind of like, you know, what was like the process kind of trying to craft that voice for Pax? Because it's like, it's an interesting character that they introduced. So I'm sure that's like a lot of like, does he sound like this or that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, the original audition specs that they sent out was basically like, he is an older character. He is British, Southeast Asian. And I was just like, gosh. So here's my history with my British accent. It's not, I know I'm not great. with it. And one of my very first roles ever, it was in this game called Fallen Legion, Legatus Lendur, and he has this British accent. Now, personally, I feel like I was so bad in this role that I was like, I'm never going to audition for another British character ever again because I don't want to butcher it. But so when this came in, I was like, oh, it's Beyblade. I do like I want to be in Beyblade. I want to be in Beyblade so bad. But how do I do this? All right, I'll just do a British accent. And I kind of took what I did on Fallen Legion and kind of just molded it a little bit differently for that audition. And so it was just like, I figured, because I didn't know at the time of auditioning, I had no idea he was going to get a Bay. As far as I was aware, he was a side character. I had no idea. They didn't say he was a villain. They didn't say he was a hero. They just said he was a Bay trainer. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. If I get this, I get this. If I don't, whatever. I tried to get in Beyblade. And all my attention, so I got 2 auditions. I got one for Ken, and I got one for Pax. And so I put all of my attention on Ken because I was like, hello? Ken's coming back? Yo, let's do it. I'm so happy that Kieran got it. But I was great. Like, I didn't know what to do. So I just did the best British accent I could possibly done. And it just kind of stuck. So for the recording process itself, we didn't have any Japanese reference, and I was kind of just like staring at the screen. We had all the animation done for the most part, and just dubbing the mouth flaps. It was a little weird because then, I don't really have like the reference, but
That's interesting because it is a lot to work with, and then you're basically kind of going like the audience almost because you're learning as they're adding on. So that is a little bit interesting, huh?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the best things about this season specifically. Like, say what you will about the toy line. But the anime and the storyline are just, I love the anime storyline personally. I love like watching Vault grow, and I love all the conflicts and all that, but getting to see it happen because you don't know what's happening in this American only season. So it's interesting. It was definitely interesting watching it unfold.
I was going to say, I think especially in the last season, especially the story writing, flashbacks here and there was like weird padding, but like it was very, very strong unlike pre and Pax. Like I was very surprised because, kind of Burst for a little bit was kind of in this like advertisement thing where it's kind of like it's going through the beats, but this season legitimately I was surprised, and I was like, if it's good, it's good, right? So the story-wise, I do think ending off, at least like narratively, it was something very, very pleasing. I was about to say about the toy line because you mentioned it.
No, it's fine. No, it was definitely very like it was just so well written. There was, I remember there was a line when I first saw Pri wearing the mask. I thought to myself, going, "Huh." That's very Red Eye. This was like one of the very first sessions. And it wasn't until later on that, Pax finally has I saw his name in the script. It's like, there once was a blader named Red Eye. And I like stopped. I like stopped speaking. And I like looked at Tony. I was like, are you kidding me? What? We're going a throwback to Evolution? You're lying.
It threw me off because when they added that, I got so confused because I was like, wait, but where was he in Evolution? And I understood it's like they're building towards it. And I like that connection because kind of a lot of Burst is kind of like these loose threads where not too many things kind of come back to each other. It's usually like it's a one-off of this story.
Yeah.
But no, that was one of the really surprising things. I was really like, wow, because they add a lot of stuff. They add connections to God, so it makes a lot of sense of his motivation. Why wasn't he there?
Exactly.
Is the arm. There was a lot of bladers have arm injuries, eh?
One of the things that really stuck out to me in my very, very first session. So there was a Hasbro representative on the call. They were on my headphones, just like telling me basically about the character and what to expect. And he was just like, "Oh, so Pax, can't blade anymore because he hurt his arm in a blading injury." And so I laughed and I went, "So why can't he just pull a Shuker and I just become ambidextrous?" And like there was this silence, and they laughed and go, "Well, you'll see. Huh? What do you mean you'll see?" So, seeing it all play out later on, I was like, "Oh my gosh, they were planting the seeds that early." I was like, that's cool.
I also thought, at least, because, every season since, Rise, they kind of have like this little special advertisement thing. There's like Gold Turbo, and it localized, it's called Hyperflux. And that's like this gold recolor 1 in 72. And then after, in Sparking, this new plot device, it's Flare. What's Flare? Whatever the writers think
I don't know. Another resonance fighting spirit. I don't know.
And then it's like Elementon. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
We're really just throwing it at a wall, eh?
Yeah. There's a new gimmick for everything.
I at least like, I don't know, at least like the base's glow or something. Like, whatever. That's like a little cute thing, I guess, And at least like, it's kind of more plausible.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I mean. Like the glowing and the elemental powers, at the very least, makes me feel at home because it's a nice throwback to like the original generation where like everything had its own elements. Dragoon was wind, and Drasil was water, and so seeing them all having their own elements, I was like, yeah, all right, I dig it. The resonance and stuff, I understand. Flare, all right, cool. Excellent animation, but all right. So, seeing it all come together with like the elementals, I was like, okay, I can get on board with this. This is cool.
Yeah, because like Burst is very grounded on realism until they really tried to shift to like fantasy third season. And it's like, here Marita wants to say, is it really just their imagination? So it's like, like I feel like every Beyblade generation is gonna have that one lore moment. Metal Fight anime has it where it's like Moses is like canon.
Oh yeah.
Like Bakuten Shoot
the one
has
everyone
like
talks
Rasputin.
about.
Yeah, it's just they gotta have one. That's what makes Beyblade iconic.
Just
it's like
one.
the one random thing that like connects these bays. So the next thing I want to kind of ask, because kind of like, what was the feeling like to kind of be a part of like the end legacy of Beyblade Burst? Because, whether people, like the products or not like it, this is technically the ending of this series, at least for the animation, or the English dub of the animation.
It was, man, I didn't know what to think. Okay, so like, when I first came on, like I said, I didn't know that I was going to be the main villain, like the end game boss of the series, I guess, and so when I first went into session, I was like, okay, cool. I'm a character in Beyblade. It's not what I wanted, but I'm a character in Beyblade. I'll do it. I love Beyblade. Sure. And so as it kept going, and I eventually found out that I was going to get a Bey and be the final villain, I was like, oh my gosh, this is potentially the last Beyblade season. X just got announced. QuadStrike is, here. This is it. I'm the main villain of this entire saga. That's so weird to me. And I don't know. I tried so hard to make sure everything was just perfect because this is, again, the end of Burst as we know it. If there is a continuation, who knows?
Right.
But I remember at the end, after the very last battle, oh man, I was sweating. My voice was killing me because I was doing all the screaming, and it was lovely. It was great. I love screaming. So, getting to scream at the top, even better. But the very last Let It Rip, when everyone after all the protagonists do their whole like spiel, they're like, "Oh, let's do it! Vroom vroom boom, all that fun stuff. So typically all the let it rip stuff are pulls. So what that means is like I say let it rip once. I think some of the other voice actors may have said this before to you, but all the let it rips we say once, and then we just put it throughout the show as we need. Sometimes the timing will be a little bit different, so we have to record a new let it rip, but typically it's the same let it rip for every battle.
Right.
So for this last let it rip, Tony looked at me and goes, I mean, we were going to pull it, but I imagine you're going to want to do the last one, right? Yes, please. Let me do the last one. Let me do the last let it rip, please. So I don't know. It was emotional. And then especially after leaving the session, knowing that, this is it. I'm finally in Beyblade. I'm the main villain of the show. I have my own Beyblade. I have my own Beyblade. That's crazy to me. I got back into my car in the parking lot and I just started crying. I was like, oh my God, I did it. I'm finally in Beyblade.
No, that's awesome. Man. And it's really like a nice ending because they take a lot of notes from the manga. It's weird because at the end, like everyone's at like the Zoom call or whatever, and like they're all like, "All right." No, but I liked it. I liked it as an ending because, like, I think no matter what, I think it's one of those things where you just kind of it like settles in quite a bit, where you're like, "Wow, that is the end."
Yeah, I remember. In the session, as soon as Bell bursts Pandora, I looked at Tony. I went, I can't believe I lost. Really? Pax had all this character development. He just lost to Bell. Tony goes, no. You won. You regained use of your arm. You realized that you won. Tony, don't patronize me. I lost. I just saw my bay burst. Don't patronize me.
Yeah, because it's like one of those things. Because it's like they have to have Bell in this season, which is it was weird to me. Because I feel like Pre could have just been the main focus. Because Bell doesn't really
carried.
Bell's just kind of there, and it's weird because since this doesn't have the Japanese base, a lot of like the reference if like Bell goes up against like Dante, doesn't get the D gear. It's only right at the end because they have Destined Evo X. I don't even know if they say Evo X.
Destined Evo Bellfire. The X is silent as far as I'm aware.
Wow.
Yeah. But
so many things at us now.
It's fine. No, it's like the thing about Bell is that I try to rationalize it in my head. It's like, Pre could have totally been the main protagonist of the series. And we could have had like our first female lead of Beyblade, But in my head, the way I rationalize it is Bell, as much as I side-eye at Bell, at knowing look at Bell, I love Bell, really, I do. Yeah. But, he has this personality that he is somehow able to get the best out of everyone, whether we like it or not. His dumb attitude, his snarky, like, I care, but I don't really care, somehow is just able to bring out the best. Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I don't know what it is, but it works. And for that purpose, sure, I'll rationalize it. You know what, Bell? Fine. You got Pax out of his funk and you got him to battle again. Sure. But Pre could have totally carried the season.
Oh my God. And the voice actress does a phenomenal job. I lost the name.
Anjali Kunappaneni is a wonderful voice actor. Oh my goodness. I worked with them on Fandom Pirate Princess where they were Karin, and they are so good. So good. I remember thinking then during that session when we were in Fena, I was like, man, you're going to go places. You just have this sound. You're so good at acting. You read these scenes so well. And then I remember, because I didn't know who Pre was yet. I remember hearing the voice in the trailer and I go, no way. Really? Anjali? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna follow the threads. Okay, I was gonna say the anime bill's a little bit interesting. The manga one, it's more of this idea of like an identity for him, and that's kind of like his challenge in the season. I think the anime, which it's depending on preference, whatever you can like. It's kind of more just. I think he's kind of more like a theater kid, right? And that's kind of like
he's the overdramatic like Chunibyo theater kid. Yeah.
I think it can it works for the direction that they were taking it. I think also it's just like they're like probably was like just confidence, like if Pandora's the main Bay, do we sell it? That's probably why they had to put and they already had Divine right from TT.
Yeah.
Which I'm still surprised they kept the same name localized, but no, I have to say the Pandoras I think was a big surprise because usually a lot of this stuff we'll find alternatively or through like listings ahead of time.
No, so, seriously.
Yeah, so like Brazilian listings, and I was so confused because there is like so many Pandoras. There was, Twister, there's like Flame, and I thought, bro, what is this, just a recolor? I didn't realize these are actually multiple of the thing. I just thought, it's just like, I don't know, because like Hasbro does like these weird naming things. So I was really surprised. I like the idea of at least the element idea that she has like 4 bays. Yeah. And I thought it was cool. The chip is left to be desired for the design team, but I like the theme of it. I feel like it overall is just nice.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they all serve their own purpose, and they're all fantastic in that way, especially in the anime. Of course. Say what you will, like the toys are, left a lot to be desired. I'm still waiting. I'm still crossing my fingers that somehow Hasbro is like, you know what? Let's make Pro Series Pandora and Pandemonium. It'll never happen. I don't know, but I'm crossing my fingers.
For that one. No, but I think something that I thought was interesting is kind of how because obviously the point of the animation is always to advertise the toys. That's always the purpose. Pokemon's supposed to advertise the games or whatever, the trading cards, etc., right? So it's always how they tell the story in kind of that direction. So at least for the Pandoras, everything felt kind of natural for it. Because, when you see certain things, it's like this guy appears. Like, what was the last one? Like, Pain. Prominence Phoenix is in the Takara Tomy 3 set. He's for like 3 episodes. He's gone. Nobody cares about him.
Never see him again. Yeah.
Never see him again. No, we don't know about him. But that's what I kind of like. Like everything kind of felt less like advertisement syndrome that like a lot of Beyblade sometimes has, where they're too focused on like this is the new release. Who's the scrub of this team? It's Max.
You want the electric driver? This has the electric driver. I get you.
And it gets funny too, right? Because I'm sure like you have the reference for the Japanese base, so when you're like watching the battles, because what's funny is that you can tell the script writers when they're choreographing this stuff, they're like, okay, the base have the gimmicks, right?
I did notice that a lot of the time when I was watching like the battles during the sessions, I'd get glimpses of them, and I'd go, "Huh, that doesn't look quite right."
Yeah, it's weird when watching it because I think it's only around the time I want to say maybe like the twins Hyuga and Hikaru and kind of Shu. That's when it's kind of more the attachment stuff. Like they take off the attachment, the lighting
stuff. Yeah,
because I can't imagine for script writing, right? It's a fun time. Because if a guy goes on a monologue over, wow, Astral Spriggan spins to the right and left. It has rubber and metal. It's like, buddy, doesn't have. It's like that. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Because they edited out scenes, and I don't have anything against it, right? It's just like one of those weird things because it's like, it makes sense logically, right? Because they can't say the lines if the bays don't have it. So, like, fair enough. I gotta be careful how much I rant on Hasbro, right? I already did too much this week. So, I was gonna say, what was
Okay.
like your favorite aspect of kind of voicing PAX? Was it like the journey of it? Was it kind of just like waiting for that moment when all hell breaks loose, all pandemonium happens?
Oh man. Definitely. Oh, I don't know. So here's the thing. PAX infuriates me because of how much he is like me. Yeah. So like I've talked about this a couple times, and I was kind of waiting till like the show finished airing via cable. At the point of this recording, it is not finished airing on broadcast television.
Good.
It is only finished via Hulu. But I don't know. So at first, Pax was just a whatever character for me. Like, yeah, I'm in Beyblade. Cool. Like I said, it's like I was just kind of going to go, and I was like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm in Beyblade. But as it kept going, and I like kind of like saw the journey and the adventure that they were going on, and like all the story beats, I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of hate you, Pax. I hate you because you remind me of me.
Right.
For that context, let me preface really quick.
Sure.
When I say this, I mean no ill will to any voice actor that I consider a peer or that I work with or whatever.
Right.
You know, this is just like personal feelings. But the way that Pax felt as far as, you know, he loses the tournament. He loses this tournament. He loses use of his arm and just, you know, he's now watching Vault and Shu and Dante and Iger and, you know, all of these new generation bladers just blow right past him. And there's nothing he can do about it. It is the worst feeling in the world, knowing that there is all of these new people and you are trying your absolute best to try and be there not in the spotlight, just be there, you know, and you just can't. That is how I feel a lot of the time for voice acting. Beyblade, for me, is kind of like, I guess, if I had to relate it to something, is my pre-Forsythe, my Quadra. You know, Beyblade is my, you know, I was really using it as a means to an end. And by the time I got there, I was like, oh gosh, you know, I have been here. I've been working here the whole time. I've been a voice actor the whole time. And it never really sunk in until that final battle. So what I mean is like, so in voice acting, it's hard. It's like, you know, you send in an audition, you hope to hear back, and sometimes you just never do. And that's fine. That's the business, you know? The way it is that there's a lot of people that kind of just move into town or, you know, you see on Twitter that are just working as voice actors. And then suddenly they're in like a billion different shows. And you're like, what?
Right.
I've been doing this for so long. What, huh? Why am I being passed over? Is it because I'm not good enough? Am I injured? You know, like, that was the thing that really got to me. And that's kind of like where PAX sits for me. It's just watching all of these new characters just blow past me and there's nothing I can just do about it. That's my favorite part, but also my least favorite part. It's too close to home. So by the time that last battle happens and I got into my car and I started crying, I was like, oh my gosh. All right, let's do this. Voice acting, Beyblade. Let's do this. You know, kicking myself into gear and trying to just find my footing and just realize that, you know, I am worthy. I am enough, I guess.
Right.
You know, but yeah, my favorite part, definitely. Also, my favorite part, obviously getting the Bay.
Right.
I remember the episodes leading up to him getting Pandora. And it was like, I think we did like 2 episodes every session because like a bunch of them hadn't been like written out yet. And I'm playing it back in my head. I'm laughing to myself already. Every single episode, there would be little hints of like, fine, I'll do it myself. Fine, keep Pandora. I don't need it. Whatever. And every time I'd go into the session again, I was like, is it happening? Is he getting his bay? Where is it?
Right.
Come on, give it to me. So the day of the session that I did it, I had my thing. I got the script ahead of time, so I knew that he got Pandemonium. But the audio engineer came out and was like, oh my gosh, have you seen Pax's new outfit? And I'm sitting here on the waiting room couch just, I'm sorry, what? What did you say to me? He has a new... You'll see in a sec. You'll see in a sec. And they disappear. And I go, I have a new outfit. Hello? So I remember walking to the session, and the first thing I saw was Pax's Let It Rip, because I guess they were like finishing putting like the beeps, the voice acting beeps, the ADR beeps, and it was just the Winter Soldier arm and everything, and I'm here like, oh my god.
Yeah.
What am I looking at?
Yeah,
This
it comes
is
out of left field. Yeah, I
This
remember.
is so cool.
Yeah, because I was watching the episode. I'm like, bro, what happened? What episode did I miss? He's already beating up Volts. Yeah, he's got the arm on. I was like, all right. That's what they were saving the end budget for the thing. I'm like, fair enough, eh?
No, seriously. I remember doing the Let It Rip, like his first Let It Rip, right? And just watching the... And I'm here like, I stopped recording. I looked at Tony. He's like, I can't believe what I'm looking at right now. Yeah. This is amazing. Oh man, yes, like getting to have that session. I had Pandemonium in my hand. I got it and I was holding in my hand the entire session, and that was definitely my big highlight of Beyblade. I finally have a Beyblade. I can say Let It Rip, and I'm not just a background character. It's great.
So a few things to touch on, because I was just making notes because I didn't want to interrupt.
No worries.
One thing I liked you were talking about, it's like the idea of in this injury, right, and kind of how that can kind of hold back a lot of times. Like for an example, like in combat sports, right? If you get an injury, you could be out a couple months. It depends how bad the injury is, right? And you could be missing a lot of matches. Does your popularity go down?
Yeah, exactly.
And in Beyblade, in the context of that, Pax is the world is evolving around him, and you kind of see where he's forcing Pre to kind of be him, but as you see the season, Pre wants to be Pre, and Pax is kind of like the sibling, I want the Xbox. It's just it's like a sibling thing. I don't know. It's like fine. Keep
I get it. Yeah. It's fine. I don't want it anyway.
I don't want it anyway. I don't know. It's really silly when I was watching it. It was weird too, because I don't know. He made the bee. I guess he has ownership. Fair enough. Yeah.
It's the only one that he can't really claim, I guess, is Flame Pandora. Yeah. But then it's still his design? Question mark? I don't actually know that for sure. Yeah.
No, but one thing I thought was really nice was kind of also when you're talking about kind of the even in industry in general, it's it's very tough. If you want to do voice acting, or for an example, for me, if I want to go into VFX or picture editing or sound editing, those are very, very tough things. And not all the time are you going to get it. It's sometimes it takes a while, but what's really kind of important is the idea of persistence, right? If you keep true to yourself, if you keep trying, maybe the next one. I think what's really beautiful in general with life, it's eventually you'll get to where you need to be.
Exactly.
If you give up, right? It's kind of like that meme where the guy's digging for gold and he goes back, but the gold's right there, or the diamond.
Exactly. he gave up just a bit too early, you know.
Right. No, but I think it is very inspirational, kind of what you're saying, kind of motivational, kind of, and it's also just the idea of just trying to find your place. Like,
Exactly.
sometimes people figure it out early in life, sometimes later on. There is no kind of right point in your life where it's like, this is what I need to do. You could go into like a program and you're like, man, this is not for me. And then all that tuition fees are wasted, and then you find something.
Yep. No, I understand that completely. Most expensive friends I've ever made. Anyway, so like, yeah, it's a lot of those things are like, sometimes it just sucks that sometimes you have to go through these traumatic hurdles in order to realize that this is where you need to be. You were here the whole time. You know, don't think about it like people are flying past you. Don't, you know, it's hard to like not think of the negative. And for Pax, it was very much like, no, I will let the intrusive thoughts win each and every time.
Yeah, and it's just kind of, it's like the idea of like acceptance. It's like everybody had to work at some point, right? Maybe some got maybe sooner than others, but like, you know, like work is work. It's kind of like how it is, right? That's kind of like some of the things I have to accept now. Like, there are certain things that you have to accept where it's like, even if you're at this point in life, it's like, that is your circumstance. You can't just, you know, get the Infinity Gauntlet, you know, do the thing, and then after it works for you. You know, you got to make it work for you.
Fine. Yeah, exactly. You got to work for it. And
you can't just be like, man, I wanted that role. I wanted that job, right? Yeah, 'cause no one's going to hire like a baby.
Screaming at the screen will only get you so far.
I wanted it. Right, it's the idea of like maturity, right? And some have to like accept that. But you know, back to Beyblade. I don't know how deep we're gonna get on the ZankCast.
No, that's great. This is it. Let's keep riffing. Let's go.
No, that's good. So I just want to kind of just talk in general, kind of, what are some things kind of you really kind of enjoyed about Beyblade? Would it be like your preference for the animation? Is it collecting the products? Is it competing? Because like a lot of people kind of could be a mix, could be just like, I just like to beat people in competition. They just look cool on a display, you know, that type of stuff.
Let's see. I really like, I talk about this at conventions when I battle, like, you know, people that come up to my table for autographs and junk like that. There is something very different about Beyblade that is not very common with other franchises, like say Pokemon or Digimon or even Power Rangers, I guess. You know, Pokemon, you have to buy the games. You know, you have the trading cards, whatever. But you can't have a Pokemon. You know, a Digimon, you cannot have a Digimon. But a Beyblade, you can have a tangible Beyblade. You know, you can hold it in your hand. You can do what they do, albeit not like as crazy as they do, but you can do it, you know? And I don't know, the tangibility of having a Beyblade and then, you know, getting to see it in the show, you know, and now I guess on my level of getting to be in the show, you know, there's a certain level of immersion that's just like, oh, I can be like Tyson. I can be like Jenga, you know, I just need to get the thing and then I can do it. I can do the thing. And that's one of the big things that I've always loved about Beyblade. You know, there aren't a whole lot of franchises that kind of do that thing where it's like, I can't have a Pikachu following me around. And that sucks. But like a Beyblade, I can just go to Target and pick one up and I can be like the people in the show, you know? I really love that. I also really genuinely love the animations for a lot of like the Beyblade battles.
Yeah.
Specifically like the last animation, like the final battle animation, the Sakuga.
Always, yeah.
Incredible. My personal favorite is Beyblade Burst Surge just ending. That ending goes crazy.
Yeah.
I whenever they are allowed to just go nuts with the animation budget
Yeah.
and just I lose my mind. And I think it's also like cool because one of the things is like, Beyblade is very I don't want to say stagnant or safe generally, but it's just like, it's the same animation every single episode, which is fine.
Yeah, with
You want it
bursts,
to have
yeah.
a certain look. Exactly. Like you want it to have a certain look. You want it to have an identity, but when they do these big final battles, you're here just like, what? What am I watching? Just the juxtaposition of just like, oh wow, this is what a battle feels like. That's so cool. That's so cool to me. And I love the creative way of using these tops, because obviously the biggest criticism for people that don't watch Beyblades, like, it's just a top. Yeah, it's just a top, but these tops are like extensions of ourselves, and in some way we can control them, and our spirits are linked to them, whatever it may be.
Right.
There is a lot of like, I like that just knowing that we are linked to these things. And again, the immersion point of like, if they can be linked to their Beyblade, I can just buy my Beyblade from Target and do the same thing. And that's what I really love about Beyblade. That is the main big thing I love about Beyblade.
All right. So I'm going to try to follow along with my notes. So I was going to say,
of course.
For the anime, the thing with Burst, it's very interesting what they do, because they rely heavily on bank, especially with the OLM stuff. And bank in itself is not bad. If for people wondering, bank animation's essentially like your Sailor Moon transformation sequence. It's to save time when they're animating. And I never really had the issue with that. it was a little bit weird, because it's like, I feel like, and you kind of said this, so I wasn't wrong in that Burst, the anime tier list video, and those Burst fans were at my throat. I thought the idea of like rewatchability, right? And it depends, in general, but what I liked was when Burst has its peak, I think they do super, super well. Like
Exactly.
GT especially, the character animation is off the charts. Like, they feel so animated, even if the season kind of has nothing going on. It's like the cast and how they convey the emotion.
Yeah,
and
the
when
cast
they do like
is just,
when they do like GT, it's the tag team with Green, Arthur, Delta, and Dante, or in Turbo 5 versus Iger, like those ones, I think it's like, that is really great to see, because Beyblade's not like something where they can have breaks. Beyblade is always like, they have to keep going.
It's always going, yeah.
So it gets tricky, because it depends what animators are busy or not, what time they get to cook, can they cook.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why sometimes I'm pretty harsh, but that's also why I give a lot of praise when they do like Pax's sequences for a lot of stuff. That's like very, very nice, because like the compositing, like even if they reuse, I think in the Iger battle, I think they took some cuts from the Phi episode, whatever.
I think
Pax
they did
looks
too.
very cool.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. And it kind of feels like, sometimes it kind of feels rewarding, right? Because it kind of like slows down, kind of in the middle portion, and then after it's like this.
It amps
the
up.
end.
Yeah.
That's why I think it felt very nice watching it at the end. So that's my comments for QuadStrike. But the next thing we were talking about was the idea of physical ownership. So we were talking about how like in Pokemon, you can't really own one. You can have like a plushie, but it's not really like that same feeling. There's competitive, there's the trading cards, but like with Beyblade, it's physical that you have and it's practice. And something I connect with a lot is that, one, I do enjoy the story if it's told well, that type of stuff. But I also like participating in events, because something I think that Beyblade has the advantage over other niches is like, I think anybody can pick it up. You could be 3, you could be 30, 40, 50. Anybody can be good at an event. And it's just the idea that like all walks of life, you can compete. And I enjoy competing, whether you win or you lose, because it's just fun. And you have some people maybe know like a lot of the physics of these bays, or maybe the science, right? And I think like that's what makes Beyblade like very iconic, right?
Exactly.
That's why it has lasting power. Like Bakugan, the game's not good. It doesn't. They don't. I'm sorry. That was next to Beyblade. That's the first thing that came to my head, right? Like,
I understand.
No one like maybe the designs or whatever, like collecting, but no one knows how to play the game of Bakugan. You go ask somebody, right? It's like an IKEA desk or something to like play Bakugan with all this stuff. And now the Bakugans are Beyblades, right? But like the only other time you can,
I watched a whole video on that. It was great. Anyway,
listen, that's when they're down in the mud. That's why in Japan, I remember these things are on clearance. I'm like, well we know no one's buying. No, but that's what I like about it. Even like the Hasbro stuff, I always try to view it like impartial. It's like, okay, if they do cuts to the bays, how is it like within the Hasbro meta at least, right? They gotta have something, right? Unless you're playing Pandora or Ruin. Sorry.
You know, I was actually waiting for you to bring that up. So this will cut into it really quick. So when I battle people at conventions, I've actually never lost with Ruin Pandemonium. Never.
Good on you.
Yeah. So if you want to battle, let's go. But I've never lost with it. But besides the point, when people like come up and they're like, "Oh wow, I didn't know Beyblade was still airing," and I'm like, it's airing. But you know, people don't understand. It's fine. It is what it is. So it's just like, I'm Pax ForScythe in the new Beyblade QuadStrike series. If you want to battle, let's battle. It's like, oh, I've never used a Beyblade. It's a spinning top. You got this. And you know, my philosophy for a lot of them, when I try to draw people in to just get people to love Beyblade, it's just very much like you put a spinning top in front of someone, they're gonna want to spin it, no matter who they are. You know, you put a pen in their hand, sometimes they'll fidget with it. You know, you put paper in someone's hand, maybe they'll fold it. You know, they'll crinkle their water bottle, whatever it may be. But a spinning top, you know, it just spins, and it's so easy. It's so easy. So getting to like watch them put it on the launcher, it's like, oh, did I do this right? Yeah, you're doing great. And that first rip, just seeing the absolute joy of like, I did it. I made it into the stadium. Lovely. There is not another feeling like it of watching just someone, you know, anyone, like a little kid or just someone who's like way older than me that's just like ripping a Beyblade, just like, oh man, this is fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's a spinning top. It's a Beyblade. And that is, again, something that is very easy to get into with Beyblade. What you were saying is like the tangibility of just having it there, of having it being easy, the accessibility of it being easy is just unparalleled beyond Bakugan and some other franchises. But Beyblade, you know.
The poor Bakugan fans, eh?
I do like Bakugan. I want to preface that. I do. I was kind of following Battle Planet, and then I'm kind of following this new season, trying. I haven't fully kept up. Anyway, I digress. But like Bakugan has, you know, oh cool, it's a marble. I can roll it, but like, what's the actual purpose of it? You know,
and it's the entry point to the game.
You know, you spin a top and you spin another top at another. And then what happens? They hit each other and one bursts. Easy to understand, you know? And I think that's, again, one of the magical things about Beyblade. It's just easy, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's easy to get into. And if you want the complexities, you
just watch Zankye on YouTube.
Sorry, I was going to throw in terms. I was going to start getting the encyclopedia. Listen, If it makes anyone feel better, listen, sometimes people throw these terms like staller, tornado staller, listen, sometimes I get lost. I'm like, what does that mean? It's worse than like doing like academic math, right? Because it's like, so what does it do? What's a zombie?
Yeah.
Right? But one thing I think was really nice you're talking about, and something that part of the community that I'm from, which is the WBO, the World Beyblade Organization. It's like a fan run, right? It's for the fans, and our goal is like to have people pay play, like let's have fun, right? So I always do the effort, whether it's like the Discord community, if they have questions, you know, where do I go to get X, Y, Z? Is this combo good? It's just like, it's an important thing, because I feel like back in the day, there's no resources that we used to have like that. Like, it was kind of more like, whoa, bro, El Drago and Pegasus, whoa! And that's like
I saw that one video on YouTube, and like they had the camera like up here, and it looked really cool. You know, the accessibility now is just like, oh, cool. I can go to WBO, and just look for battles. I can look for information. You know, if you want to get into the complexities of all that.
Yeah, no, sorry, 1B. Sorry, I got it corrected. They would beat me up if you said the 2B. Yeah, 1B.
I'm thinking of like, yeah, you're right.
Not
you're
boxing,
right.
not boxing, not the world boxing. Those are different guys. No,
I'm thinking of like WBBA, but I digress.
Oh no, yeah, fair enough. Well, it's B4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I was gonna say the resources now I feel so rich, and there's nothing wrong with the idea of anything casual. I like if you watch something, you get something out of it. That's always my goal, because I feel like there's too many confusion with like a lot of stuff. Like it turns out Lucifer actually has some use against the left guys. No, it's crap, Zankye. It lost to Valkyrie. Like that's the, it's always like niche and narrow. And I always try to say because like a lot of times, for an example, like they'll see like the original combination. We call it the stock combo, right? The original release, and they'll think, oh, that's the only value of it. But like the customization is like it's integral to the game. That is the game. That is like
it's literally the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's see what I was going to talk. We talked about accessibility. Okay, so next thing I want to kind of focus this around the idea is Beyblade X, because X is pretty surprising for a lot of reasons. For an example, this is right after Burst, and I remember when my dad told me, like, back in the Anime North, like, a year or two ago, whatever, oh, Beyblade's still going. I was like, what? Because obviously, we have our sources, and we were told the idea of, like, Beyblade's going to be evergreen, and evergreen's, like, the idea of, like, continuous.
Exactly,
I'll see. And I was surprised, because Burst, like, End Japan was the remake set in February, but technically Barricade Lucifer, and then after it was like...
That was like a year...
Dead Space. No, it was this year. Oh no, well, Lucifer was December, but like the remake set was this February.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And I was very surprised, because it's like, usually we get like, a few years break, and I'm not complaining, right? It pays my tuition and that stuff, so... I'll take 10 more years.
Take the wins.
And we take what we can get. Kind of want to ask, what was your reaction to kind of seeing that initial news? Because like I remember, because QuadStrike was still going on, and it's like, well, there's going to be X. I was like,
I lost my mind. As a Beyblade fan, knowing that, there is more, that's crazy. And then hearing the press release of like, hey, we want this to be an Olympic sport, quote unquote. I was like, hello, let's go. I don't know how I'm going to explain this to people. It's like Beyblade's an Olympic sport now, but this is awesome,
Right. They are kind of getting there, like Japan's marketing, like they did, I think it was like for the weekend for like the sports day, they had like a training center, they do a lot of these festival stuff. I'm a little bit surprised, because it's such like a departure from the normal marketing, because usually like here's the toy, the animation, but their direction is kind of more... Sorry, the latency.
No, it's
if I ever
fine.
interrupt, it's my connection.
No, it's fine. I'm agreeing with you. It's more so like, the Beyblade burst and everything prior is just like, okay, here's the toy, here's the tie-in with the show. Cool. But they are marketing X like crazy.
Yeah.
I wish like they marketed burst like this.
It's pushed even
something
more to
else.
the older audience, and obviously in Japan there have been age divisions like for older, younger, but to be at like the front of marketing, like they're doing like dances in the video, like it was like a Street Fighter promo video. I don't know what I was watching.
Underground blading.
Yeah, like the Metal Fight ads.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was something nice because they acknowledged at some Yahoo Japan article, like the idea like a lot of our profit comes from adults. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously where their marketing is focused towards. I'm hoping we kind of keep that same idea here, because here it's kind of because. Like in Japan, certain things can work because of the culture, right? Like you can host B4 events because, they have neatly organizes, Toys R Us's or that type of stuff. But it's kind of hard to translate it here, right? Because like, what do we have? We have like Targets, right?
Hold on a sec. I think you just cut out. Did I just lose internet connection for a moment?
Bro,
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. No, you're good. You're good now. Wait, wave your hand. Let's see.
Whoa! Sorry. I was like, everything just stopped. I was like, whoa, what happened?
I thought you were giving me a mean look. I was like, oh, damn. All right, sorry, I'll move on. Okay, now you're back. Okay, well, it's going to be fun for syncing after. Okay, it's not too bad.
Sorry, future Zankye.
Right. No, it's all right. Sometimes it happens because we're doing like YOLO Live, whatever. If you have nothing else open, sometimes it just happens. It depends where you're from, whatever.
Gotcha.
As long as you have nothing open, you should be fine. Okay, so I'll refresh. Yeah, I was basically just saying they're doing the marketing kind of like this adult stuff, sports focused. You see it a lot in Japan.
Yeah.
And I was just saying like the translation to the Western market is going to be the most difficult job for them. Because Japan's culture is very different from like here in the West for kind of how we operate. Because Japan, they have Toys R Us's, they can host easily. They're even doing fan-sponsored events where they get like points for like the app or whatever. And that's really progressive.
That's fantastic.
The hardest thing is translating it here because we recently got this announced that, Hasbro will be collaborating.
Continuing. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got a very important job here for like marketing-wise, target audience. It's like Beyblade can go as well as like as much people don't want to accept this. Like the West market is very important. So what Hasbro does is very, very important. That's why stuff like the Metal Saga was so strong, and that's why they went crazy on like that spin-offs and whatever. And even why Burst pre-COVID was like doing pretty good. Because they kept building strong to like that peak. So that's like I hope we can see that just because I don't want another gen like this.
I feel that. No, I don't know. I remember when X first got announced, and I remember like obviously I was very excited, but I was also looking at it like so no one's gonna care about QuadStrike. Lovely.
Yeah, and that's the difficult part, right?
I also want to say really quickly, you of all like fans on like Twitter and Instagram have all proved me wrong, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. But I remember when it happened, I was like, no one's gonna watch QuadStrike. Everyone proved me wrong, obviously, but like, man, I just remember it's like, oh, I don't know when this anime is coming out. I don't know when the toys are coming out yet, but this is huge.
Because it's in that weird dead space, because it's like the anime was like the Bays first debuted in like November 2022 or something, and then it was a long pause, then it aired. I think there was a teaser before that, and it was really weird because like I remember the marketing, I think, is better for X on the English accounts than it was for QuadStrike. Because they just, like, shadow dropped all the Hulu episodes. I remember thinking, like...
I didn't even know that was happening.
It's a long night.
You know how I found that out? You, actually.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I saw that, and I went... I really wish the cast, would get it. A tip on when that would happen. But I digress. It's fine. At least the ending came out, and I was like, all right, cool. I can talk about having a Beyblade.
Right. No, but I think there was still interest. I don't think the lack of interest came in the anime season. I think it was just the base and also general fatigue. Because, the Hasbro's always going to be delayed by like a year or whatever. And if the changes are really drastic, it's sort of like, it was already like the sour taste. I think what the anime does well is still keeping that interest. I do have to say, however, whoever's working on the website has to get fired. Because, dude, they only updated the website like, 2-3 weeks ago? On all the character bios. Where was this? This could have been like Ken's episode. Here's Ken's bio, bro. Like, who they got? Or I don't know.
I don't know what the process is. Yeah, I don't know what the process is, and I can't speak on that.
Yeah,
but it was just like one of those things where it's like, huh. Did they have a plan for why they released all of the bios and the PNGs later on? I don't know. Maybe there's a method to the madness, and I'm not aware. But
I don't know. It could have been maybe just waiting for the airing. But it's weird because usually I thought they do what the Japan does, where as the episode airs, it's a new character, the bio, whatever. That's like nitpicking, whatever. Yeah. But the thing I want to ask now is kind of. We'll first go over kind of the story, if you've seen anything so far on X. Kind of like, have you seen anything about the X? Are you waiting just in case? Or just like...
I'm waiting just in case.
All right, yeah, so I don't want to throw anything in there.
No, right. It's fine. I know generally kind of what's happening. Like, all the characters. I love the animations for like the opening and the endings and the music. Blew it out of the park. I admittedly, One OK Rock, I love their music. It's not the high metal, rock that I'm used to hearing from Beyblade, but it is still a very good opening. It is not my choice of an opening, but it is a good opening.
Right. And the K-pop one.
Aespa. Oh my. It's so that I have no issues with that one. The visuals and the music,
that's
gorgeous,
amazing. Like it was so creative because it's like even though it's basically like a slideshow, I like the idea of like it's a mask of like this visual, like this cool details of them, and there's little Easter eggs. Like maybe you see there's like a lot of, bird has like an actual bird on him. Yeah.
There's still a lot of movement in the opening, which is why it still works. Because, Aespa's song is there's a lot happening in the song. And it still matches because like of all the visuals and everything like that, which is fantastic. I love that. As far as the story goes, I haven't seen anything really. Sure. I've seen like couple clips here and there of like, using like the extreme dash and things like that. But I've been holding off in the off chance that I get the auditions.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't want to like push that and say.
No, it's fine. Because the thing is like if an anime is happening, like an anime dub, and I'm sure it is, I don't know where it's going. I don't know if I would even get the auditions because I'm Pax,
Right.
Like I don't know if like they want to recast like characters from Burst into this series. Who's to say? But if I did, I wanted to go in fresh. I wanted to like not know what was happening. That's typically how I like approaching most shows that I get cast on.
Sure.
Where I'm just like, I don't want to know. I want to learn as I go in. If it is a show that is beloved, obviously, like say, like I get Chainsaw Man or something. I'm just like, no, I'll read it, I'll watch it. Let me try to digest it. Figure out what's the best way to approach it to make fans happy and also myself as a performer.
Sure.
But for like especially these shows like Beyblade, where like they're essentially sports animes. You know, I don't want to know what happens because I want to be surprised about the outcome. You know,
Okay.
like if is Kurosu Cross X.
Oh, X. It's really dumb. It's Exu Kursu, and it's spelled
Kurosu.
like EKSU. Like it's not like his identity is Common X, like X.
Common
but
X.
but his name is like how you would literally write like saying X in like.
Yeah. That's why it's like if Kurosu X, Common X, you know, if Dran's sword gets broken, you know, it's like,
right, like
I don't
the
want to
plot
know
stuff,
about it
right.
until I get in there. You know, I want to experience that myself firsthand. And that's something that I like. If I get the opportunity to do it, you know, I would love to just experience all of that firsthand. I think that'd be so cool.
Yeah. I think something else, talk about X, the character designs for like the manga really nice. Like it's the artist who did Promise Neverland, Posuka. She does
so good.
phenomenal
Phenomenal work.
The best choice they made is divided work. 'Cause they got like the Kakaguri writers, they do the script, whatever, but she does the illustrations, and that's like the best move they ever made. Because a lot of times, if you have to draw and it's the story, right, that's like a lot of work. But I think it's really benefiting right now from kind of that direction. But there's also like good things about X, which I'm really enjoying seeing. It's the idea of female representation, right? It's never
good
been
already.
Like you've had female representation, but not like the idea of like they have the main bay release.
Yeah.
It's not a random booster, a set. Like
Multi doesn't have just one bay. She has two. And she's part of the main cast. That's crazy. Every time we have like a female main cast character, they have a bay, but they don't like do it. And sometimes it doesn't even have a name.
Yeah. And it was always, and obviously it's just not like the author's fault. This was always like an editor thing. That was like their idea. Yeah. Like they thought, how about you don't do that, right?
Yeah.
But that's
like
something I really enjoy.
The closest we've ever really gotten was Shasa, yeah.
No, because they didn't even give her a bay.
But that's the thing. She is the closest we've ever gotten technically to a main cast character that was shown frequently, that constantly Beybladed. Like, what? Not Chica. Is it Chica from Rise?
Ichika.
You know, she had a Beyblade too. I was like, who am I thinking of? Ichika, you know, she had a Beyblade, and she kind of Beybladed regularly-ish, but it was always like you would hear
it was like
the letter rip kind of.
They had like the recolors of the bays, and it was never like
exactly.
And obviously, like there's Ilya and Pri, but you know, like those are like Hasbro ordered. I mean, like it's there from the start.
Prior to like
they count, obvious. But
prior to
like,
Ilya and Pri, you know, we didn't really have like a female cast character, and it was like I'm really glad that we do now, and especially in multi, the fact that like she has two, and then there's the other character from the other team, the blonde one, and then the one that has Shark Edge, and you know, there's so many cool characters already.
Yeah, I'm just being careful. I don't accidentally spoil it for you. I'm just trying to be careful on my words.
It's okay. It's all right.
No. No, I like, you know, like in Bakuten, you know, you had some like female representation, but it's like it's every color of the Flame Pegasus, Thunder Pegasus, whatever. You had like the Tri-Gator or whatever. You know, Metal Fight, you had like Aquario and Fiend. I'm just happy now because I feel like it's so nice to see representation in Beyblade, because it just feels nice to know that like maybe a specific group of people can kind of feel like, you know, that's me. That's me.
They're represented. That's great.
He's like me for real. Not me. Like
he's like me for
on
real.
The thing. But that's the good thing in X, because I see like a lot of tweets from like Japanese fans, like cosplayers, or like even like
Yeah.
artists. They're like, wow, this, and it's really a nice thing. However, what we can talk about is the bays, right, Cameron?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well.
Yes. Go for it.
So I was gonna ask, what is your thoughts on the X system and like the bays? I think I might be able to grab one.
My biggest thing with them is that I wish they were more colorful. There's only so much you can do with the metal, but that was already my thought when I heard that they were going back to metal. I was like, oh, but the colors, they were so pretty and vibrant and burst. Yeah, and I don't know. It's weird having like the whatever that middle portion with the sticker is having like connected
the gear bit, right?
To the attack ring. I forget what it's called.
There's the blade, that's the top part. The ratchet's
blade, yeah.
like the height, and the bit's like the bottom.
Oh no! So what I mean is the sticker part, the part in the middle of
the gear
the blade
bit, when it does when it moves.
Yeah, like I wish that was kind of removable, and I'm also curious about what else they can do, because this layer system is already like, I feel like it's together already. Obviously there's gonna be things like, different bits, and I've seen all the custom bits already. It's like those are cool, but like what else can you do?
Right.
My biggest thing, I don't know. I'm sorry. My ideal is I wish they all kind of looked like Cobalt Drake.
Oh, see, I had it.
Yeah, but
Drake?
the paint chipping is the big thing. But I digress.
I had to do testing, so I had to feel that pain, like Galaxy Pegasus. Yeah, it's one of the things where it's kind of like, yeah, you kind of got to accept. But what I was really happy with was like the gameplay. It's so different from before. And what I like is like, Hasbro and Takara always worked together, not just in the animation or certain changes. Like the anime in Japan will have like this fancy stadium that Hasbro adapts. Like this stadium is like the idea of this Hasbro anime gimmick, but like TT's doing it so it works.
Yeah.
And that's like the benefits of like the gear system, because like their goal was like the idea of like, we want to have these anime battles and we want the bays to be able to do that.
We want it to be replicable. That word, I think that's a word, in real life. And it goes back to the same tangibility thing that we were talking about. I was like, if I picked up a burst bay, it won't be able to like elemental break, anything it comes into contact with. But this thing can extreme dash and rock the stadium, destroy things. And that is, we are getting closer and closer to experiencing like the tangible anime battles. And now with the AR stadium, that's nuts. We're so close to feeling that,
The technology, this was when we went to Korea, it was called the Tarina AR Arena. It was like, it's kind of what this thing basically is now. It's a very tricky thing to work, but it's the idea that they're motion tracking the movement pattern of the bays, so it follows. So I was a little bit ignorant in my original review, because I was like, magnets? Turns out it's not really a magnet. It's just a little thing so they can track the bays easier. But stuff like that's like really cool. Like, that's what I really like about this. It's just like, it's such a reinventing of like the status quo that we have for like everything, like character designs, the setting, the bays, the battles. That's what I'm really enjoying about this. Like, it feels like the right progression for Beyblade. Like the bays have metal fights. They have like the sticker design of like Bakuten shoot. They burst like burst, right? It's like the final boss of Beyblade. Like
everyone is here.
Yeah. So, is there, other than Drake, 'cause everybody says Drake, any preference right now? Any favorite
Man.
ones?
I don't know. I've always been an attack type person.
So you're a
But
drawn
Cobalt,
sword or
yeah,
shark edge.
drawn sword. Yeah, shark edge. Shark edge looks so cool too. I know that we can't do the what's the best way to explain it? Dragoon with the left going left and those sharp edges. Nah, not happening with metal contact. That is a hazard waiting to happen.
I will be. Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like the back
how,
in
like,
the
the
day,
blades-
the knife, right?
Yeah.
The weight
Yeah,
disc
no,
mod.
like-
Yeah, no, God, no.
No, not that. It's just like
Oh.
so like how Dragoon was kind of like let's use title Pandora. So
Right.
you can only spin this right. If you were to spin this left with these blades sticking out,
The direction.
like how
the-
Dragoon
so, like,
used to be. Yeah, so like that is
right, the
never
dual
happening
spin.
in metal. That is hazard waiting to happen.
No. Well, yeah.
I would love that, but no, it's never happening.
Yeah, the dual spin probably dual spin's very tricky just in general for game balancing. No, but yeah, I remember because in Bakuten shoots technically like there's rights and lefts, but if you change the spin gear, anything can be this or that, and some maybe work better the other way. Yeah, but okay,
Yeah.
That's what you meant. That's sorry, I had
That's
I had a brain
that's also
freeze.
kind of what I. It's fine. No, that's kind of like another thing that I was like, I really hope they maybe implement well into Beyblade X. Getting to like do dual spin or finding ways to gear shift into different like modes. The gimmicks. Right now, we're still in the early stages of Beyblade X.
like
so
the baby
anything
phase.
is fair game. Yeah, exactly. So like we don't know what could happen. Maybe a bit's gonna have like a jumping gimmick. I don't know.
Right.
There's always gonna be something new, and I'm excited. Like the main reason I like Cobalt Drake is one because it kind of looks like Dragoon, and two, it's blue. It has color, and like I know all the other ones have colors, but this one is like, it's vibrant.
Just getting used to it because it's like it's so dominant with silver. It's like because like Burst is very like kind of like overstimulating, right? And then when you go to X, right, it's like I get it. I've seen the general sense,
but not
of it.
really. Yeah. I mean, from an aesthetics point of view, that's really all I have as far as like what I would like to see.
Sure. I was gonna say,
I think that might be it. Yeah.
For the base at least, this game does get pretty serious because these things do go up. Like, let me get the shroud. There are times when I've had it where they go like that. I have gotten this one time. We're doing a battle. I don't remember what it was. I just remember it went like this, and thank God I moved. It hit right there. I was in pain. My mom started laughing. Because they flew fast. These things, maybe you gotta take a few steps back when you play with them. These are like kind of serious.
A cover will only help you so much.
Yeah. No, but no, I think I generally agree with like the idea of just how did they evolve it from here? Because I know there was. I think they're going to do like a prototype something, I think the end of this year for the next stadium that they're doing, I'm pretty sure. So I am curious that direction too, because usually if you look at Beyblade, in Bakuten's kind of weird. Okay, so not Bakuten, but like Metal Fight, Burst, it's like plastic flat, plastic ball, plastic sharp, and then they kind of like, they go advanced.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting because Burst, they can do a lot of stuff because it's primarily plastic, but metal, it's more gonna always be shape for the blades. Like you can't really like they'll make up terminology like, oh, Night Shield can shock absorb. Yeah, metal cannot just that's not how metal works, buddy. Or
I am curious, how they're gonna do that, like add rubber or like how it's going to be implemented. It's definitely gonna be interesting.
They've been experimenting with the gear ratio. So like there are little gears on here. So like the newest one, the dagger, it'll have like
drawn dagger.
It'll have like 10 gears or something, whatever, and the difference will be it interacts with the line a little bit better, and it's a really cool thing. No, I think we covered a lot of ground.
We did.
Is there anything in specific that you wanted to add in terms of just any discussion?
Nothing that really comes to mind. I'm honestly just happy riffing it, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to.
We gotta get you. We gotta get you a 3D print of like a Takerotomi pandemonium.
My goodness, I've been thinking about that a lot. About what a pro series would be. And I, for the life of me, cannot think of it. The only things I can even think about is like maybe if this bottom was rubber, like the little dome was like rubber,
we got
or like
people. We can let them cook, right?
we can let them cook.
I can find people for this challenge to try to get the Takerotomi Pandora and hand it to you.
I don't know. I've always wanted, like, ever since the Pandoras and the Pandemoniums, like, come on, give me a pro series, something, one last hurrah. Come on, Hasbro. No. If you watch this, Hasbro,
Quad creature, fierce Helios, chain dragon, lightning Poseidon. I almost got the last one. Comet Basilisk. That's the last thing. That's what they get. There's no waiting on pro series. No, obviously we love Hasbro here, so we're clear at the end. I absolutely respect all the decisions they have made for the franchise.
I would not be having this interview if it was not for Hasbro, so thank you.
Of course. Yeah, this interview's gonna get asked like a 1 day later. It's gonna be, hey man, not with this guy. Oh god, that'd be ironic, wouldn't it?
No, we're fine.
Hopefully. Okay, well, I'll end off with this before, if you want to do any plugs for anything, then. Is there any advice you have for like aspiring voice actors, like any advice, or maybe like tips, or just like general, stuff you want to say, kind of end off? If not, or just like, anything you want to plug.
In the spirit of Pax, never give up, no matter what. Pax, again, is a character that, due to bodily injury, something stopping him, he just gave up, and I think it's just, don't give up. Don't let things stop you. I think that, I don't know. You okay?
That's how you were saying it. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not just saying it. I don't know. It's some word you used, whatever, threw me off. I was just listening. I was nodding. Like with every bodily fluid or something you said. I was like, bro.
Bodily injury?
Bodily injury, yeah, sorry. That's what threw me off.
No, I just, no matter what it is, somehow you can make it work. Just don't give up. And I guess at the end of the day, like, there's a very cliche thing to say, but at the end of the day, really don't give up. And coming from a place of like voice acting, where this is a very hard career, you can always go in and never know if you're going to keep your job. You are going to get recast. Will you get it? Will you not? Just don't give up. That said, be prepared. No matter what, if an opportunity comes your way and you are not prepared, you are going to feel awful. If you are an aspiring voice actor, an actor, period, take some classes, find people that resonate with you, and practice. Always trying to be the best version of you can possibly be. And, So when that opportunity finally comes your way, that one show, that one commercial spot that you've always wanted to be a part of comes your way, you're ready. You know, be prepared, be ready, but also don't give up. Don't give up.
Now, on that topic, people should not give up trying to check your social media or other information. Let them know.
If you guys want to follow me on any of my social media, you can do so at Darrel J. Delfin on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Yeah, I'm still calling it Twitter. I'm not calling it X.
Beyblade X.
Exit. If you also, as of recently, if you want a Pax ForScythe autograph print, I can actually just pull this.
Yeah, come on, gotta plug that.
Yeah. Drawn by the wonderful Nashira Sauce on Twitter. Also a Beyblade fan, by the way, you should follow.
Beast.
If you want to get this signed, you can do so at streamly.com/DarrelJDelfin. All I know, I don't know exactly how the process works, but you can purchase it and I will sign it live on Streamly or on Instagram or whatever, and I can get it to you, no problem. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Make sure
thank you so much.
No, thank you for the time. I will make sure to leave links in the description that, actually, maybe send me the links. But I will make sure to leave links in the description. I will make sure to leave it. And that'll be it for now. Make sure to check out their social medias. Will I find somebody to cook up a Takeratomi Pandora? We will find out. Check out Darrel at his social medias. And that'll be it for now. Take care and bye.
One last thing. Thank you, everyone, for loving Beyblade. Really, I appreciate you all so much. Thank you.